Now, I'm delighted to say we're about to now go live to Pennsylvania with Nigel Farage, thanks to Betfair, our US election coverage partner. And we're not just going to talk about Donald Trump and the presidential campaign that's going on that Nigel is witnessing as we speak. We're also going to talk about the new party that Nigel wants to start, the Reform UK Party. Not content with forming the Brexit Party and changing the political landscape of this country forever, he's going to do it again. Nigel, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Now, I was expecting just to talk to you about the amazing scenes that we're watching from the Donald Trump sort of campaign rallies and the numbers of people that are joining and the surge of support that the president is seemingly riding a crest of a wave on right now. But let's just start with this Reform UK idea. It's a piece you've written in the Telegraph this morning, along with Richard Tice. We're about to go into another lockdown. Tell us what you think.
Well, I mean, the Brexit Party was founded because the whole political system in the UK, Mike, had failed to deliver on its promises. They told us if we voted Brexit, we get it. We didn't. We formed the party, and we did transform the landscape. We got rid of Mrs. May, which is the best feather in my cap, I can tell you. And it led to Boris becoming Prime Minister and us leaving the European Union. Now, there is still work to be done. We haven't seen the final shape of the deal. But one of the slogans, Mike, we campaigned on was change politics for good. And that doesn't mean just Brexit. Brexit gives us self-governance. Once we've got that self-governance, we then need to exercise it properly. What we've seen in this pandemic, I think, is a total failure of leadership at almost every level. £12 billion spent on a track and trace scheme. Companies like Serco being awarded these vast government contracts with seemingly no due process, and a Westminster Parliament that is going to vote through another catastrophic lockdown. You know, I'm here in America. Vote for Joe Biden and vote for a long, dark winter and vote for lockdown. Or you can vote for Donald Trump, who says we have to get on and live the rest of our lives. In the USA, there is a very clear choice. In the United Kingdom, all of our parties support lockdown in varying degrees. And I just think, if you look firstly at the economics of this, if you're public sector, it's great. But if you're a Whitehall civil servant, it's marvellous. You can sit at home drinking beer. You know, you're going to keep your job. You're going to get your pension. What about the millions of people out there running their own businesses? This second lockdown is the death knell economically for many of those people. And when it comes to health, you know, the argument that we have to protect the NHS and stop it from being overwhelmed. Well, last time round, we finished up with 35,000 empty hospital beds. Lung cancer diagnoses are down 75%. I'm getting local groups in Kent who run diabetes trusts saying not a single person has been scanned since March of this year. So goodness knows what that means longer term. And actually more people are going to die of having diagnoses through this crisis than will die of COVID. So I think at every level, we need to think differently. We need to look at what Sweden's done, and let's have a debate about how we can shield and protect those that need to be shielded and protected, and how the rest of us can get on with our lives. Otherwise, not only are we going to see a terrible death toll from things other than COVID, not only are we going to see 4 million unemployed, but we're going to see a national debt that our grandchildren will still be paying off in 50 years' time. So we've rebranded the Brexit Party as Reform UK, and what we're about is making sure we get a proper Brexit. And if there are things where Boris drops the ball, we'll go on campaigning, arguing that we really do need to look at the Great Barrington Declaration, where scientists all over the world suggested an alternative approach to the lockdown. And then let's talk about the failures within our system. A bloated House of Lords full of the mates of prime ministers, an electoral system that is clearly hopelessly out of date. Things like illegal immigration across the channel, where we hear tough words and get no action whatsoever. So a genuine, radical campaigning party. That's what Reform UK intends to be.
And all of the things that you've mentioned there, Nigel, are all of the things that the seemingly mainstream political parties have forgotten about, as if they have forgotten about the working men and women of this country. The Conservative Party, for a long time, which has been one of my bugbears, has penalised small business owners, taxed them up the wazoo, absolutely wrapped them in red tape, made it incredibly difficult for people to run businesses in this country. And now they're basically, complicit in shutting them down.
Yes, I mean, the referendum was a remarkable moment where the little people spoke.
Yeah.
The ordinary folk spoke. And we thought that was going to herald remarkable change. It hasn't. Nothing has changed. The Westminster political class, along with their friends in the mainstream media, are still running things the same way. And yeah, someone's got to speak for ordinary people. That's what we intend to do.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because I said at the beginning of this show, funnily enough, that the abandonment of the ordinary people of this country is quite staggering, because we still see, and you'll be seeing it over there, the polling that gets done now by these polling companies, YouGov, claiming that 70% of people in this country would like to see a lockdown. 40% of them want to see the lockdown being made even more difficult. I said to Andrew Bridgen this morning, who seems to have swallowed the Kool-Aid after a visit to Downing Street, that basically he should take a 20% pay cut, and he should actually propose a bill in Parliament for all civil servants to take a 20% pay cut so they can feel the same pain that ordinary private individuals are feeling.
Yeah, well, don't hold your breath on that one, Mike, because, the great thing all through the history of mankind is that the ruling classes look after themselves, and if the rest starve, well, that's just okay. It's not good enough. Look, honestly, we need a radical shake-up and change of our whole system of government, because right now it is not working. And
you're going to be standing candidates in local elections, I understand, if they go ahead, presumably next May, right?
Yeah, and I think also police and crime commissioners. I mean, I thought it was utterly shameful to see chief constables taking the knee to an organisation that wanted to defund them.
Yeah.
I mean, what is going on? This complete, total lack of confidence and moral courage that we see right through the upper echelons of our society.
Well, we also saw the Birmingham Police and Crime Commissioner saying the other day that he'd be sending out officers to poke into people's windows on Christmas Day to make sure they weren't breaking the rules. Well, good luck with that, Yeah, but let's talk a little bit about Trump, because he is quite a remarkable individual. The amazing piece of video of you being invited onto the stage, where he described you as quite a shy individual, which I thought was rather amusing. But it's been quite remarkable watching the numbers of people going to these rallies.
Well, I mean, he's not just the president of the USA. He is a human dynamo. I mean, yesterday he did 5 rallies, and he's speaking for an hour to 2 hours at each of them. I have to tell you, I'm going to Scranton today. I'm here in Pennsylvania. Scranton, of course, being the hometown of one Joe Biden, and funnily enough, Hillary Clinton before that. I've just been for a little morning stroll. It is blowing hard. It is freezing. There is snow in the air. The weather is evil. And you know what? Tens of thousands of people will turn up to watch him. It is remarkable. They love him. He's got energy. He is just the greatest showman you have ever seen. And one thing for certain, if you're a voter, on Tuesday, tomorrow, here in America, with Trump, you know exactly what you're getting. He did it 4 years ago. He made promises, he kept them. He's doing the same again. And all I can say, I've watched elections all over the world. I have never seen a support base as enthusiastic as they are for this man. I mean, these crowds chant, "We love you," and they mean it.
Right.
So look, you can, if you want to, look at the opinion polls, look at the betting markets, look at the lead editorials of the global press, and they will all tell you that it's a slam dunk for Joe Biden. I do not believe it. I think the guy's got the big momentum going with him, and I genuinely think he's going to win tomorrow.
And in Pennsylvania, of course, Joe Biden, which, as you say, is more or less his home state, has said that he wants to do away with the oil business and fracking, which is not going to play too well for one of the world's centres of oil and fracking.
Well, that's right. I mean, this is classic, isn't it? I mean, these are blue-collar jobs. These are communities who traditionally voted Democrat, but under Joe Biden, they will lose their jobs. And I think you're right. I think that is an absolute key to Pennsylvania. But also, when Biden talks about the long, dark winter, and Trump says there's going to be a super boom under him next year, it's really come down to hope versus fear. With Donald, you get hope. And some may say that it's ridiculously over-optimistic, but that's the message he's pushing. And with Biden, you get fear. and constant talk of death. And I think, one thing I've learned in the last few years is that people want a good, strong leader and a positive message. I have to say, it's been the most exciting last week here. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow enormously. But one slightly dark comment on this. I was in DC yesterday, and literally it's being boarded up, Mike. It's being boarded up because if Trump wins again, they know there are going to be riots. And something has gone terribly wrong in democracy in America and indeed in the UK, where the left now just don't accept genuine democratic results.
And that is an awful, awful thing. And let's hope it doesn't happen. Nigel, listen, great to talk to you. We're going to be talking to you again on the overnight show tomorrow night, wherever you're going to be, I don't know. But hopefully we'll be getting the results as they come in. It's going to be a fascinating election. It's going to be an amazing day and an amazing night for you. Nigel, thank you very much indeed. We'll speak to you tomorrow.
Thank you.